Orks are amongst the deadliest of the Xenos races. Multitudinous, belligerent, and possessed of brutal cunning, they spread across the stars like a green tide. Even in the war-riven sectors around the Eye of Terror, forever beset by chaos, they rank amongst the greatest threats. As battle raged between the Imperium and the dread forces of chaos, the Orks gained a foothold upon ravaged worlds, using them as staging areas from which they could slingshot deeper into Imperial territory. Ork technology is ramshackle, but terrifyingly effective, combining mismatched components, scavenged gear, and intuitive leaps to forge weapon systems whose inner workings baffle the most experienced of the Imperium's adepts, but lack for nothing in sheer unbridled firepower. In much the same way, an Ork warlord can take a multitude of squabbling clans and forge them into an unstoppable army. Such a warg has the sheer unbridled might necessary to conquer the stars themselves, leaving naught but rubble in its wake. As its momentum grows, so do its numbers grow, swollen by greenskins drawn to the promise of bloodlust, teeth, and loot.
The Orks plague the whole galaxy from end to end, with their ceaseless warring and strife. They are a warlike, crude, and highly aggressive green-skinned Xenos race, organized in a primitive and brutal society, rooted so deeply in war that peace is utterly incomprehensible to them. Their ships are often ill-kempt, unreliable rust buckets, kept in operation only by the constant effort of Ork mech boys and their Gretchen slaves. Ork pirate attacks are brutally direct, with their ships rushing headlong towards their target, guns firing wildly as they come. They cannot be bargained with or bought, save with weapons that they will inevitably turn against those who try to bribe them. Orks have a need for speed. Their ships commonly mount a plethora of thrusters, boosters, and extra drives, usually all wired up to a prominent red button in the cockpit. From long experience, have I learned that underestimating the greenskins is a fast route to the grave.
14 Orks on a booming ship, killing anything that's rude. Racing at you, Sega, through big shot takes take time to get in. Everything in this part of space belongs to the Orks. Full speed! One lone Ork left to steal the loot, wishing it had turned out so. Through big shot teeth and I should have let the pilot go. Ranting at each other. Through big shot teeth and I was the one that saw it first. Your little toy ships are no match for Ork technology.
Right, boys, listen up. In the beginning, Gork and Mork needed some fighty lads. So they did some stuff, and the Orks appeared. Some of them were runts, But there was lots of boys too. Some of them were big, and some of them were weird. But they was all mean and green. Except the red ones. And the biggest and greenest get around is the big boss. And we's gotta listen to him, because he's taking us on the Great War. That's where all the best fighting is. We's gonna use all the shiny new trucks and shooters to crump the you warp. We don't need that junk. Shut up, you git. As I was saying, the other lads have their shinies and their know-whats, but they don't know how to use them proper. Not like us. We's got our stickers and our squigs. We's gonna drag them down and crump them good with hands and teeth and all that fancy truck gubbins. That's why we're the biggest and we're the strongest in any clan we're in. Saddle up, beast snaggers. The war's coming! Right, lads. This is the plan. And it's proper cunning and mawky. Them beaky gits is right nearby. So they's expecting us boys to charge right at them. That's what we's gonna do, because we's orcs. But we's gonna do it from the side. They never expect the boys to come from the side, see? All we need to do is creep up right close by hiding and stuff. Hiding. That's Grot's business. We don't do no hiding. That plan's stupid. I got a better one. Right. We got lots of boys and lots of trucks. There ain't enough beakies to kill us all, so I say we go straight at 'em and hit 'em hard. That's the proper orky way. Lots of choppers, lots of dagger, lots of war. Now, you listen up. We's the beast saggers, and we don't care if you sneak around like morkers or charge in like gawkers. We're only here for one thing, and that's sticking the biggest gits, the chompiest monsters, and the hardest oomy stompers.
Orks are the most relentlessly warlike species in the entire galaxy. They are gleefully hostile and utterly anarchic. The Orks are an omnipresent threat to everyone they encounter. Sometimes a particularly brutal and cunning Ork will rise to the rank of war boss and will declare a WAAAGH, a unification of various warbands with a single purpose: to wage war across the galaxy. But the Orks have no greater plan. They simply seek violence for the sheer joy it brings, as they hunt for stronger and therefore more entertaining foes to scrap with. Orks attack with little thought for self-preservation, and usually shove aside complicated strategies in favor of the simple joy of storming into battle. Unfortunately for the rest of the galaxy, Orks are tough enough that this often works. Some of them even inexplicably develop the instinctive knowledge they need to build terrifying and deadly weapons, perform crude bionic surgery upon their wounded, project devastating psychic assaults, and lead immense warbands into the stars to crush and conquer. There are many Ork subcultures, each with its own brand of tactics. Members of the cult of speed rev up war bikes, jump into trucks to reach the enemy faster, while the hardy beast snaggers hunt down mighty beasts, which they then ride to war. And other subcultures prefer to overwhelm their foes with fancy dakka or hordes of boys. While some species would see victory as finally conquering the galaxy once and for all, nothing could be worse for the Orks. This would leave them with nobody to fight but each other. And while orcs do love fighting other orcs, they prefer the variety of fighting everyone else. As long as they're fighting and crumping, then orcs have already won. Orcs follow a strict hierarchy, with the biggest and strongest member claiming the title of War Boss. Accompanying them are their lieutenants, known as Knobs, and hordes of bellowing boys that make up a raucous green tide. Towering over these mobs are mechanical idols of their god Gork, or possibly Mork, known as Stompers, while Deathcopters and Dakka-jets provide aerial support.
I created him, you know. Without me, the great Green Prophet would have died as one of the loads of boys on Earth. But then, he got shot in the head fighting the Umis, and his mate brought him to me. That's when things got interesting. After me improvements, Gaskell Thraka started seeing things. Visions of the green gods Gork and Mork. They told him stuff about how hard orcs are, and he took over Earth. First, he voted the Umis off, then he killed any orcs that didn't agree with him. While Thraka was claiming the planet, the star he swung around with a right funny colour like. It was going to blow if you ask me, but Gaskell wasn't bothered. He said that Urk was just the start, and Gork could lend us his ship. So he did. World Killer appeared in the sky. A big old Hulk with plenty of room for all the boys in our gear. Any boy who didn't believe Thraka before, did then. We pulled it up to the Hulk. We just didn't know where we were going, but Gaskell did. To war, he said. We're going to war!